PFA fam, what is up? We are on to week 12. Well, still on week 12. This week is feeling like it's taken forever, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it
Just
really
with
has.
Thanksgiving and everything else going on, like it feels like it's been feels like we've been on this week forever. But a lot of good football games should be on tap for today, so that is a positive. Thanksgiving slate was actually pretty good for the most part. Surprisingly, the Packers knocked off the Lions.
Yeah.
The Cowboys did what the Cowboys have done to a lot of teams this year, and then that night game looked like it was going to be close, and then they kind of pulled away at the end. But overall, and then of course the Jets just being the Jets on Friday, in that brutal, ugly game that there was on Sunday night or on the first Black Friday game. So, and apparently the Jets are going to start Tim Boyle again. So,
That's certainly a choice.
yeah, I don't have no idea what they're doing at this point. So, um, it's just I don't know. I don't know what's going on because this feels like super like. Can we be any more stubborn? Like I don't know. Like start Trevor Simeon. I mean, somebody that's
Yeah,
actually had like some sliver of NFL success. Maybe not the guy who's never
of
done anything.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hate to see it, especially with that defense that's played so well all year. Anyways, we're here to answer questions, get you guys ready for this week. There's a lot, or for the rest of the week. Let's dive right in. First up, we got bike walkers. Do I start Mahomes or Dobbs this week? This is going to be Mahomes for me.
It's gonna be Mahomes. I get it. Like he hasn't been what you drafted him as a second round pick more than likely, but I'm still gonna go Mahomes here. I think the fact that Max Crosby is looking doubtful should help out too.
Yeah, I think this is a get right spot for the Chiefs this week. So I do really like Mahomes in this matchup. The Chiefs are missing a couple of their wide receivers, so should be a little more condensed in terms of who they're going to target because Kadarius Toney and McCole Hardman are out. McCole Hardman was placed on IR, so yeah. But yeah, Mahomes I think is in a really good spot. I think last year they were like right around this time last year was when they were struggling and everyone was writing them off. And then I think they played the Raiders and just absolutely annihilated them. This feels like a very similar type spot here for this week. So,
Yeah.
Jonathan, start 3, non PPR, Bijan, Saquon, Rashad White, Kyron, and Ramondre. So I think Saquon,
Kyron.
yeah, I'm starting to warm up to Kyron, especially with all the comments and the things that they've done here in the situation. So you have with McVay coming out and basically saying that they kind of expect him to handle his normal workload. And if that's the case, you're talking about a massive workload. And they gave you some indications by releasing Daryl Henderson. So they obviously feel good enough with where he stands because really the only thing they're going to have is Royce Freeman and I think Zach Evans active. And Zach Evans just plays special teams. So you have to feel pretty good about the workload that he's going to see against the Cardinals. And this is tough. I think I go Bijan for the other one. I actually really like Rashad White, but with this late week injury that popped up for him, kind of worries me a little bit. I hate really playing running backs that are banged up or any player that is because anything can happen where they get knocked out, and so I don't feel as comfortable. I do like Ramondre's spot a lot, but I think I would still lean Bijan here. So I think I would go Saquon, Kyron, and Bijan.
Yeah, I lean Bijan slightly over Ramondre just because it seems like they prefer Zeke at the goal line. Not that Bijan is the goal line back either, but I feel better about Bijan ripping one off than I do the rest of that group.
TN.
The GOAT, the OG, the 101.
I hope you enjoyed your stuffing there, TN, this week. I certainly did not have any. So, but it was a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. If you celebrated, if not, hope you just enjoyed some football. But yes, it was a fun week. It was fun.
Good college games yesterday too. That Ohio State Michigan game was a fun watch.
I have no idea what Auburn was doing. 4th and forever on goal.
That was wild. It seemed like that wide receiver got away with a little bit of offensive interference too. He clearly pushed off. But anyway,
how do you not like that? What did they rush 2? It's like, what are you doing? Just like bring some pressure. Like, You know what I mean? Like, but they brought nothing. Like, I don't know. That was wild. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What are you doing?" You had the opportunity to knock off Alabama, and it was right there, and then you lose. But whatever.
Yeah.
And it's starting to look more and more likely we might get a Mizzou Penn State matchup. That's a lot more people are starting to project that. So for the Cotton Bowl, or I think the Citrus Bowl, I think. But yeah, that would be fun.
It'll be fun.
It really would be.
That's like do like a live stream or something for like the Discord.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, it looks that's starting to be more and more people are starting to project that as the part of the New Year's Six bowls. So we'll see. I don't think they announce it till after next week, right? Till after the conference
Yeah.
championship that happened next weekend. So, anyways, TN halfway PPR with Jerry Judy. Thanks. This is Devonta Smith. I am big on Devonta Smith this week, especially that with the consolidation without Dallas Goddard out there, it really helps Devonta Smith. Really good matchup here. Uh, the Bills have really started to fall off in terms of their defense, but they have so many injuries on that defense. So
Yeah.
um, I am all in on Devonta. I'm playing almost 50% of them in DFS this week. So
I have a lot of Devontae as well. I feel like he's the easiest way to get exposure to that game, like him and Kincaid or him and Shakir, him and Davis.
yeah, and then also with that, well, on the other side of that with Jerry Judy. So the Browns play a lot of man coverage, and they're top 5 in man. And against man coverage, Jerry Judy sees less than a 15% target share. It's actually Cortland Sutton is their man beater.
Wow,
And so I am not that excited at all to play Jerry Judy this week. So yes, I am firing up Devonta Smith with a lot of confidence this week.
that's it's a
So
nice little nugget there. I like that.
and appreciate you, TN. And
Yeah,
we are on to the Christmas season. So have to don the Christmas hat next week.
I feel like you've been on to Christmas since last Christmas, so it's not really. I think it's just like a formality.
Truth.
It's a formality for you.
I mean, Christmas is or Thanksgiving is a day. Christmas is a season. So that's the way it is.
Christmas is a lifestyle.
Yeah, but now it's actually like socially acceptable, where it's not like, oh man, it's not even Halloween or it's not Thanksgiving yet. Now it's here. So, anyways, appreciate you, TN. Noel,
Thanks, dude.
start 2. Marquise London, Deontay McBride, or Ford.
I think here I'm gonna go McBride and Ford.
Speaking of injuries, I just updated this right before. So Marquise Brown, last I saw, was still questionable to play. I think
He's
he's
expected.
expected to play.
Yeah.
But it really makes me nervous playing him. I know Zay Jones, I think, is also expected to play at this point. But Justin Jefferson, I don't know. I don't think he's going to play. And then Deontay Foreman's very questionable. The guys that are active are Zay Jones, Rashad White, Damian Pierce, Odell, Gerald Everett, Jalen Guyton, and Amari DiMercado. And then inactives obviously are T. Higgins, Noah Brown, Treylon Burks, Michael Wilson, Dallas Goedert, Jerick McKinnon, Mark Andrews, Joe Burrow, Hayden Hurst. So those are kind of the guys this week that aren't playing and who are in and who is out. But the ones that I just don't think Justin Jefferson plays with everything we know with them. They have a bye next week. So I don't know if they rush him back. They've kind of been
Yeah.
really cautious with them. Why not just let him out sit him for one more game? You should feel confident enough that you should be able to beat the Bears without Justin Jefferson. And so I'm not expecting Justin Jefferson to play.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just want to mention that with that question. So I'm playing McBride and Ford, I think is where I'm going to go here. I actually don't mind London because Marshawn Lattimore is expected to miss. And so that actually helps London quite a bit.
Yeah. Did I see he got put on IR?
He might have. I just saw yesterday that he wasn't expected to play. So
He was put on IR.
That's a blow to that defense. So I think London becomes more interesting. But Ford, great matchup this week. We actually one positive thing to note from last week is so Jerome Ford all year really hasn't been seeing goal line work. That's been the frustrating part with him. They pulled him out. but last week he played 5 of the 6 red zone opportunities that they had. So that is a big positive for him. And so I think Jerome Ford is a really, really good play today. And so especially against Denver, Denver still really struggles against running backs, and then McBride is just in an elite spot. Just the target share he's seeing,
Yeah.
opportunity, matchup, all is in his favor. Do you agree?
Yeah, I said McBride and Ford.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear that. I was like, TX, Javante, Ford, Warren, or Keaton Mitchell, half point PPR.
Javante and Ford.
So I'm going Warren for
I get it.
sure. I really like Jalen Warren this week. Really solid matchup. He's been the starter, I guess, for the last 2 games, but his role hasn't changed. I know now with obviously Matt Canada gone, I know there's been some speculation this week that the running backs coach has taken over. Is going to be he's going to be the offensive coordinator, correct? Yeah,
Eddie Faulkner.
yeah, but so
Faulkner.
there's this belief that all of a sudden now Jalen Warren is going to actually be the starter and get all. But I don't think anything changes because
No.
like during the offseason, preseason, training camp, and all that stuff. I think Mike Tomlin had said that the running backs coach was actually going to be the guy who determines the snaps they're all playing. So I don't think anything changes there. So
No, I think it's going to be a similar workload.
yeah. But this does profile as a really good matchup for him this week, though. So I'm going to go Warren, and I'm going to go Javante on this one. And then TX, Khalil again, or Khalil Herbert or Warren. This is Warren.
Warren for me.
Noel, start one wide receiver, one flex. Marquise, London, Deontay McBride.
We got that one.
Sorry, we got that. Noel, Odell, Jacoby, or Judy.
Golly.
Like, I want to say Jacoby because so the Chiefs, L'Jarius Sneed has like legitimately been a shutdown corner this year. Like we just saw it again last week against the Eagles, where AJ Brown went 1 for 8. Like he has been doing that all year, and so that is who Devontae Adams is going to likely be on. Is going to draw that matchup. So it would make sense logically for Jacoby Myers. The only thing that I struggle with is that AOC has not targeted him at all and has not looked for him like Jimmy Garoppolo. So that makes me nervous. But if the Chiefs take away Devontae Adams, then the ball has to go somewhere. And so I think I'm going to go Jacoby Myers.
I'm going to go Odell on this one with him expected to play. Like you said, like Jacoby just doesn't get targeted. The rest of the KC secondary is capable enough of, first of all, getting pressure on AOC and then also, limiting Jacoby, especially because the Raiders have done the opposite of what how the Patriots used to employ Jacoby. Like Jacoby's been an outside receiver. If you were playing from the slot, like maybe that makes you feel a little bit better. You were already touching on Judy and how this isn't a great matchup for him. So I lean Odell on this.
And I actually don't mind Odell. And a really good matchup against the Chargers. The Chargers secondary has been pretty bad all year. So
Yeah.
And they're also missing obviously Mark Andrews. So that just kind of opens up a little bit more targets for the rest of everybody else. So which is why I also like Rashad Bateman this week. Noel again, Ridley, Addison, or Godwin, half point PPR. I'm going to go with Ridley on this one, but I'm nervous because it feels very points chasing. But
yeah, I'm with you though.
I just think there's something to Zay Jones coming back, and all of a sudden him actually running a full route tree again. It feels like before they were just using him as a clear out option. He would clear out the field, like go deep, take people with him. And then now with Zay Jones back, that's what they've done with him and put him in that role. And almost Ridley is almost playing like the Christian Kirk role that he was playing with Zay Jones out. That was the one that you wanted every single week. So TX again, New England or Denver? I flip a coin. I like both of them quite a bit, to be honest.
Go New England.
Yeah. I slightly lean Denver, but I could go either one. I think both of them are really good spots. I think they're both, top 10 defensive plays this week. Jeff, Rashad White or Saquon, and Browns D or Chiefs D?
I'm gonna go Saquon and Chiefs.
I agree. I'm gonna go with that as well. Ethan, thoughts on Mixon or Javante this week?
I I lean Mixon. I'm hoping that T Higgins out with Jake Browning now at the helm, which is just something to me to bring up to just shit on the Steelers any chance I get. Jake Browning's passing prop is higher than Kenny Pickett's. It helps nobody. I just wanted to say it. I'm gonna go Mixon on this one by a smidge.
I'm gonna go Javante. I get it too
It's
because
close.
like the I don't. I mean the Steelers. I don't think are just gonna run away with this. Like just come out and like. I know that with the new offensive coordinator, there seems to be a little bit more optimism around the Steelers defense or Steelers offense, but
They've also said that like the offense really isn't going to change. Like you're not going to, especially at this point of the year. Like their bye week is already passed. Like there's not going to be wholesale changes. The where the optimism is coming from is like in the play calling and the like sequence of play calling. But it's like more or less going to be like the same offense. Like there's not going to, not going to be any crazy changes here.
Yeah. But so with Mixon, you feel like the game script should be there. He's going to see the majority of the work. But I also really like this spot for especially the Broncos defense has been excellent. And I just think I just like the offense more than what Joe Mixon's in. So it's very close between both of those guys. So I'm just gonna slightly lean towards Javante. And then Gerald, hello, choose one, half point PPR. Warren, Mixon, Kirk, Flowers, or Deontay Johnson.
Oh boy. I lean Flowers on this one. Like we were touching on, great matchup for that passing offense. Obviously no Mark Andrews, so I'm going to lean Flowers here. But I do like these options a lot, Gerald.
I do too. I'm going to go Flowers too. It makes you feel a little bit better about it. Like I said, now that Gerald Everett's out of the way, or Gerald Everett, Mark Andrews. Yeah, they're similar. Without Mark Andrews this week, and I guess there's some speculation that Mark Andrews might be able to return. It's better than what they thought it was going to be, and so he might. Actually
he was officially placed on IR as well.
Well, season-ending IR or just where he can be activated IR.
I did not. I just saw IR.
No, I don't think that he's somebody that I think if he were to be able to return, it would be not until the playoffs or something like that. I don't think it's anything people should be like, oh, you should hold on to him type thing.
Yeah.
Because at best, at this point, he could return week 17. So, which would be the fantasy playoffs. So he's not a consideration there at all. I thought it was interesting because it seemed like his season was going to be over, and now it looks like there's a possibility.
Outside chance to return, the ankle injury is not as bad as it could be. Yeah, so like that'd be way more of a playoffs type deal.
Yeah.
NFL
okay.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Michael. Murray or Dobbs? It's gonna be Murray for me.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it is much closer than what you. It's been a weird year, but much closer than I originally would have thought it would have been.
I'm gonna go Dobbs on this one. Going up against Chicago, higher implied team total for the Vikings versus the Cardinals. I mean, Kyler's been Kyler's been good. Obviously he can get there with his legs. Dobbs has that rushing upside as well. The Rams defense has been, I think, a lot better than most of us expected. They've gotten hit in a couple of their games, but I'm gonna lean Dobbs on this one. But
I
it's
don't hate
it's
it.
really it's really close.
Yeah, but I like both of them. They're both top 10 options this week. They're both top 10 quarterbacks this week. Um, I just slightly lean towards Murray over Dobbs, but it makes sense. ET, happy week 12. Happy week 12 to you. Got my 10th straight win last week and locked in first round bye. That is a good feeling. What are your thoughts on Kincaid's fantasy outlook after Knox returns? I don't think it changes a whole lot. Maybe he comes off the field a little bit more on like obvious rundown or in non-passing situations and stuff like that. But I don't think you can put that one back in the bottle. I mean, Kincaid has been a big part of this offense over the last couple of weeks, and so I don't think Knox is going to all of a sudden like relegate Kincaid back to some sort of part-time role or something like that. So I still feel really good about Kincaid's rest of season outlook.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing you worry about is like if Knox steals a couple touchdowns or red zone type looks, but like you said, I don't see him going from. I mean, he's basically been averaging 7 targets per game, especially over the last several weeks. I don't see that dropping, being cut back in half. I think we see them run a little bit more 11 personnel versus the 12. Yeah, 12 personnel that they were running when Knox was healthy.
Yeah. Raylan, start 2 running backs at a flex PPR. JT, Henry, Kyron, DJ Moore, and Gabe Davis. Oh, Raylan.
JT, Kyron, DJ Moore. You're not going to say Derrick Henry, are you? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
So
Just get it over with. Just get it over with.
the problem is I don't know who because I really like playing DJ Moore, and so, but I think Henry and Kyron are extremely close. Here's the thing with Henry. Henry has been pretty bad, right? But if you look at his fantasy production and wins versus losses this year, which basically tells you game script is where that really matters. It's pretty daunting. And so his best games have obviously come when they've won. And this is a game they should definitely win, and one they should be able to handle. And if that happens, and this is a great matchup. It's one of the best matchups you can get against to face for opposing running backs. And so if that's the case, I mean he could see 20 plus touches today. And I think this is his last game that where I feel like okay, you can feel good about playing him. I'm gonna go JT, Henry, and DJ Moore. But I don't. I get the argument for the other side too. So with Kyron's also more involved in the passing game, so that helps there and that department. So like the against Henry, I just like the spot with DJ Moore, especially with Justin Fields back. Like with Justin Fields at quarterback, he's been arguably a top 15 wide receiver this year with Justin Fields, and so it's really hard not to go there. That's a tough decision. I understand why you're asking. The real MVP, Josh Downs or Drake London. This is Josh Downs. Love Josh Downs this week.
I would lean. Yeah, never mind. I'm with you. Josh Downs. I like that. I like that game script a lot more. The only thing that would worry you is Josh Downs is playing through that knee injury. It's the same one that he suffered in the during their offseason preseason work. It kind of seems that it has popped up over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, he came back, left the game early before their bye. They did have the bye week, but yeah, I like that overall game script. I think that is a sneaky shootout game between Indy and Tampa.
Oh, I agree. And this is an offense with Indianapolis that plays fast. They are top 10 at neutral pace. And so, and the Bucks are missing. I think Jamel Dean is out. Carlton Davis, last I saw, was questionable. Don't know if he's going to be active. I think he got an unlimited practice on Friday, so he might play. But this is already a defense that has been thrashed through the air, and so Like I love this game. Like Michael Pittman is a legitimate top 8 wide receiver this week too. I mean, not that he's in this question, but so and I really like Josh Downs. I think the bye week is going to help him, be a little bit more healthy. And give him that extra time. So I feel pretty good about
Levante David is also out as well, which I mean, just is another hit to that defense. But yeah, Dean is out, but it looks like Carlton Davis did get in a full practice on Friday. But like you said, it doesn't really matter because that defense has gotten shredded all year long. And now that's also an older secondary and somebody like Josh Downs, who is a quick twitch type of athlete, makes you excited for him in this spot.
Yeah, over the last 4 games, the Bucks by far have given up the most. They've allowed 340 passing yards per game and 3 passing touchdowns per game over the last 4. So
Not good.
no. CHB, yeah, you know what time it is, Kevin. I need one running back to start since I'm not sitting James Cook. Which running back to start? Keith Mitchell, Khalil Herbert, Ty Chandler, or Jaleel McLaughlin? Sorry, pre-workout hit.
Yeah, I love it. Just ends. Yeah, I'm gonna go Khalil Herbert there.
I agree. Especially with Deonta Foreman looking pretty doubtful. I don't think Foreman's going to play. That just helps
Yeah,
kind of solidify things in his role. And so Khalil Herbert is going to be who I go with here. Ty Chandler's close, but I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert. I mean, he's the 1A within that backfield where Ty Chandler is probably more the 1B at this point. Frustrating as it is because I don't think it should be that way. But yeah, I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert. Truth teller, need a defense. I got Cleveland in right now, but Tennessee is available and Denver as of late. Denver defense has just been putting up fantasy points. I like Denver's defense more this week, but it would just be a play for this week.
I would just keep Cleveland in. I wouldn't want to carry 2, assuming you're not going to be dropping Cleveland. So I would just hold on to Cleveland.
Yeah, I was trying to see because I know next. So they got the Rams after this. Cleveland does at the Rams. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty decent matchup. It's not something that you're all that afraid of, especially with the Rams offensive line. I know the Broncos next matchup. I don't think is fantastic. I think they get Houston if I remember correctly. Yeah. So because after that, if you play Denver this week, it's the last week you're going to want to play them because they get at Houston, at Chargers, at Lions. So yeah. So it would just be a streaming option for this week. So yeah, I think, and to be fair, Cleveland's still a top. I think I have Cleveland at 6 this week. So yeah, I would just hold on to Cleveland. TX Downs or Douglas? As much as I like Demario Douglas, I just don't understand his rostership. He's still rostered in less than 40% of leagues. It is Josh Downs, as everything we just talked about with that game.
Yeah.
He is going to be insufferable if something were to happen to like Swift, and then all of a sudden, like the
Oh
last
my
couple
God,
weeks of the
yeah.
season, he comes Rashad Penny or rises out of nowhere and just
Goes on a tear.
CHP. You need to get a Rashad Penny jersey, is what you need. If you don't have one, that's blasphemous. Ethan, I also have a decision between Rice and London. Great stream, by the way. Thank you, Ethan. This is Rashee Rice.
Yeah. With the
I think
injuries,
so.
I'm gonna go
Rashee Rice gets a boost because they're for the first time. The Chiefs are only going to have 5 wide receivers active today. So, like, if there was ever a game for Rashee Rice to see like more than 5 targets, this is it. Like, could we see 10 plus targets today for Rashee Rice? It's possible. We'll see. But
if it doesn't happen this week, I'm done.
And the sad part is he's actually been productive despite seeing limited touches. Like, it's not like, he has been useful.
Right.
Like, he's still been like, he hasn't been like great, but he's given you feel pretty good about getting usually around, 9 to 11 PPR points a week from him.
Yeah.
Andrea, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Could put that together. Need to Pacheco, Bijan, or Ramondre PPR. So Pacheco.
Yep. I'm gonna go Stevenson in a PPR.
I'm gonna go Bijan, but I totally get the Bijan or not the Ramondre Stevenson call, especially with the matchup they have.
Love the matchup. Yep.
Need two: Chase, Olave, and Devonta. I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna go
Jamar
Olave and
Chase.
Smitty.
I'm gonna go Chase and Smith. Who'd you say? I think I talked over you.
I said Olave and Smitty.
Yeah. There's just this part of me that, like, man, like I could without Higgins, like I could see him see 15 targets. Jamar Chase. You know?
Yeah.
And it's still Jamar Chase. So I know we've kind of seen this from other like wide receivers this year, and it hasn't worked out for them once they went to the backup. But I don't know. Jake Browning looked decent for half of football, but
Yeah. I mean, like I said, his passing prop is higher than Kenny Pickett's.
that's ridiculous.
Is that crazy? With no T. Higgins either. Just wild.
Yeah. Jacob, Mixon, Javante, Dell, Hollywood. So Dell is an absolute like lock. I
Yep.
have him at wide receiver 7 this week, and so he's a lock. And then I'm gonna go Javante.
I would go Mixon, but Hollywood would be last. If I didn't go Mixon, it would be Javante.
And then also roll with Deontay Johnson or gamble on Justin Jefferson playing.
I'm just gonna go Deontay here because I'm assuming with who might be available in your league. Like if the only way you gamble on Jefferson is if you are able to pick up why can't I think of the
Like KJ Osborne.
yeah, KJ Osborne. That's the only way, but I wouldn't play KJ over Deontay even with Jefferson out. So I would roll with Deontay here.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have to feel better about it. Especially the matchup. Yeah, the Bengals defense just has been not great, especially recently. So I think you go Deontay
Yeah.
on that one. It's tough because there's a part of it was like, maybe there's also maybe on the Bears side, if you wanted to, you could pick up like Darnell Mooney, something like that as a safety option. But I don't know, none of them feel like great compared to being able to play Deontay and not miss
Right.
out. And I haven't heard anything that sounds like Justin Jefferson's going to play. Everything sounds like he's not going to play.
Right.
And like I said, with her having their bye week next week, it makes no sense for them to rush him back. They can, have him give him one more week. They know he's 100% ready to go. You come back week 14, and Justin Jefferson's ready to ride. So
It also seems like Jefferson does not want to come back until he's 100% healthy either. So I don't think either the team or Jefferson's not going to be rushing back.
yeah. Zach, need a tight end and a flex. McBride, Kincaid. Man, here we are again with that. Flex, McBride, Addison, Ford.
I would start if this is for the same lineup, Zach. I would start both tight ends. If it's not, I would go Kincaid. Well, either way, I'm going to start both tight ends. I don't know why I even said that. It's going to be both tight ends. So actually, I do know why I said that because we obviously need to make a decision on the first one if it's not the same lineup. So it's going to be Kincaid for me in the first one, and then McBride for me in the second one. I just like the overall. Like I hope we see that Eagles Bills game pop off. I think that obviously has the better chance of doing so versus Rams Cardinals. So that's why I lean Kincaid over McBride, and then the second one I'm going to go McBride. Okay, so we're starting both tight ends. That's what I'm doing. And if you don't want to start both tight ends, if you feel weird about that, it would be Kincaid and then Ford for me.
Zach, if you have time, who are you starting at running back and wide receiver? I'm just curious because I like actually. I mean, Jordan Addison without Justin Jefferson. I like the matchup for him in Chicago, and I also really like Jerome Ford. But I probably lean with you. I agree. Probably playing both tight ends is probably the way to go. But I am curious if you could just let us know you're starting at running back and wide receiver. But I do agree. I think you go McBride and Kincaid. Both of them are just really good spots. Both are top 5 tight end options this week. And they're both their matchup. Both those games have shootout potential in the Rams and Cardinals game, and as well as the Eagles and Buffalo game. I want to look at one thing.
So at running back, Zach is rolling out Gibbs and Rashad White, and wide receiver, it's CeeDee Lamb and Devonta Smith. I would play Ford over Rashad White. I'm probably out on a island by myself with that one, but that's just me. Kevin, it seems like you like Rashad White, and it does sound like that they put him on the injury report as like purely precautionary reasons. It sounds like he's going to be okay to go. It said his knee locked up during practice, whatever, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, that still doesn't sound good. But it does seem like it was more precautionary measure than like them actually worrying about him not being able to go. So, for what it's worth.
Something I did want to look at, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be anything too concerning, is the weather, because I know there's a snowstorm that's moving through, which it actually came through here yesterday, just to make sure
Sucks.
that it wasn't going to affect any of the games. Looks like the Buffalo game is the only game that could be. It says the Buffalo Philadelphia game, off and on showers all game. At times, the rain become pretty heavy, especially as the game goes on. Wind's not an issue, so it doesn't sound like it's anything crazy. But I just wanted to see. Roto Grinders, which is always where I go to look at, has that game as a yellow, so it's not like a stay away. The winds isn't a big deal, so it should be fine. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that we had no weather concerns with what's going on here. So, anyways, I think I would just go both tight ends. I know you mentioned Jerome Ford, which I don't mind it as a matchup, but he is just still just splitting touches with the others. So for Rashad White, still like the workhorse there.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is where we were at. LA 10 team PPR. Murray, ETN, Gibbs, Kyron, AJ Brown need wide receiver 2. I'm only thinking about starting Josh Downs over Olave and Ridley. I think I go Ridley here. I know I get it with Downs. Like I've said, I really like Josh Downs this week, but I like Calvin Ridley just a little bit more. Olave doesn't, Olave is, I feel like he's pretty boomer bust. But with Derek Carr back, he just hasn't really had that rapport with him. I mean, it's which is frustrating, especially whenever we saw him come. All of a sudden, Jameis Winston comes in and kind of takes over and starts playing well. So that was frustrating. But the Calvin Ridley stuff, like I said, like it feels a little chasey considering he's coming off a huge game. Now all of a sudden we're all wanting to jump back in and play him again. But like I said, I think there's something there with the Zay Jones stuff, that Zay Jones being back has kind of changed the way they utilize him, which is stupid. It shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have taken Zay Jones coming back to utilize them correctly. But it's the only thing we really have to go off of in terms of sample size to look at, and that's kind of how it's been. So I would just lean towards Ridley in a game that really does have really big. I mean, this game. If you told me this game was the highest scoring game on the day, wouldn't surprise me at all between these two offenses. So, um, I go Ridley.
I would go Olave. I know it hasn't been great between the two, but the fact that he's still doing what he's doing in terms of the air yard share, the amount of deep targets that he's seeing. Now we have no Michael Thomas, which shouldn't, I don't think changes things a ton, but it does at least open up the possibility for him to get 1 to 2 more of those shots, or maybe they utilize him in a little bit of a different way and kind of use him closer to the line of scrimmage, which could help. But it would be Ridley for me second, and then Downs third. But I get it because I really like Downs in this spot too. But That's how I would rank them. LA. I would go Olave, Ridley, Downs. But if you want to swing for Downs, I don't have. If that's what your gut is telling you, I don't think that's terrible.
No, no, I have. I mean, Josh Downs. I think I have him at wide receiver like 26, which isn't too far behind the other two. So, like,
Yeah.
if that's your lean, then I would tell you to just go for it. Trust your
Yeah.
gut, and go for it because there's a ton
Yep.
of upside with Josh Downs. Lexus starting JT Jacobs, Cup, Devonta, Bijan, Swift. I am going against the first place team who started Howard, Lamb, and Mostert. I have Olave on my bench. Should I go with upside on a wide receiver over a running back? I would always, at this point, start a wide receiver over a running back and PPR formats. If the two are equal, I don't know who the players are because I don't think they said. Other than, well, I guess who would it be?
I'm assuming
Olave.
it's over Bijan or Swift, unless we want to, really it's between the four running backs who we want to put in there. I would swing and I would go Olave over Bijan, I think. Or it would be Olave over Jacobs. Because in this game, Casey's defense has been really good. I know Jacobs has been getting all these touches, but unless he scores a touchdown, it hasn't really amounted to a ton. And he hasn't been getting the targets the way that he had at the beginning of the year either. So actually, now I just talked myself into that because I think Bijan has the higher upside, Swift has the higher upside. So I would sit Jacobs for Olave if I'm just swinging for pure upside.
Yeah, if that's what you're looking for, yes. I didn't really feel like. I mean, Lamb. I mean, Lamb had a good game. It wasn't like Lamb went off. Like Lamb didn't have a monster game. Lamb scored what 17? I think 16 or 17. Trying to remember.
I'm
Maybe
trying to remember
19.
as well. It seems so long ago.
I know it does feel like forever ago. I don't think he had like some. I know he didn't. I know he scored the touchdown, but
I mean, 4 for 53 and a touchdown. So if you're full PPR, you're talking what, 15 points?
yeah. I mean, so he.
15.3.
Yeah, Mostert had a good game. Scored two touchdowns, but wasn't. So yeah, it's not like you're buried or anything like that.
Yeah. And that team's strong enough, but I'm assuming you're not like fighting for the last place, wild card either.
So here's the thing that I actually think that I would do, and if you're really searching for that, I think the conversation would be with Cooper Cup. Everybody keeps ranking Cooper Cup as a top 10 wide receiver every week, but Cooper Cup's not producing top 10 wide receiver numbers. Like he hasn't. He's averaging 11.6 PPR points per game. Even his expected fantasy points per game is only 15.6, which is really bad. Which what just tells you is that he's just not seeing the type of target share, especially with Puka getting out there. And so that worries me. Like, and he hasn't scored more. He hasn't been a usable wide receiver since week 6. Like it's been forever since Cooper Cup has been valuable and so something that you want to play. And so like while I guess ceiling's there, if everything works out for him, like Olave might be a better play over Cup just straight up. And so I don't know. Like I struggle with that. I think you probably could just roll with what you have here. If you wanted to go with Jacobs, and go with Olave, you could, but it is scary because I Cooper Cup is not the same guy that he was last year. He's not putting up those type of numbers, and he's just not getting there. I mean, some of it's because of Matt Stafford dealing with so many injuries as well. That's really held this offense back. But Puka Nakua is certainly hurting Cooper Cup because Puka Nakua is also seeing a large target share within this offense. So Dustin, I need one wide receiver, one running back, one flex, full PPR. Devontae Adams, Devonta Smith, Josh Downs. So at wide receiver, I'm going to go with Devonta Smith. Running back, Eckler, Jacobs, Keaton Mitchell. I'm going to go with Eckler. And then at flex, I'm going to go with Devontae Adams. And then start one quarterback. This is tough. I'm going to go with Mahomes, though, over Stroud. Really do like Stroud, but I'm going to go with Mahomes there. Let's see. Jacob, Mixon, Javante, Deonta, full PPR. This one, I'm going to be Javante. I know Cody would go Mixon here. We've kind of heard this question a couple times. I just really like the spot, game script, everything else. And the positive game scripts we've seen for the Broncos where we've seen Javante see 20, 25 carries or 20, 25 opportunities. And so, especially at home in Denver, I think this really profiles a really strong start. I know the Browns have been a decent run defense. They're not elite against the run, but it is a tougher matchup there as well. So I just want to say that. Joe, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Over on Twitch, in Heart TV. What up, boys? Got to start. Sit one. Kyron Pacheco, Ford, Godwin, Amari. So if you just got to sit one, I'm sitting Amari Cooper. Just don't love the matchup. He's going to see primarily, especially on the road in Denver, but he's going to see the Patrick Surtain defense there. Don't love it, especially with the available options, or especially with DTR at quarterback. So I'm just going to sit Amari. The other option would be Godwin. Godwin just hasn't really been that great this year either. So, but I'm definitely playing Kyron Pacheco and Ford for sure. Jeff, going forward, McBride or Laporta, or is it matchup based? Yeah, it's matchup based. Both those guys are extremely close. I mean, both those guys are like top 5 tight ends. I think top 6 tight ends moving forward. I think you'd really just play matchups there between the both of them, or at this point you could play both of them. That's been a viable option with these guys too. So that's the way that I would play it. Noel, London, Marquise, or Deontay, full PPR. Forgot to specify. I need to start one wide receiver. So, I can't start Ford and McBride. Oh, yeah. So between London, Marquise, or Deontay, I'm going to go London on this.
Yeah.
Big Truz. Running backs for Josh Jacobs, Kamara, Rashad White, and Kyron Evans. I have Puka and Tank Dell on my bench. One running back and one flex. Tank Dell should not be on your bench.
Yeah, if I can, I'm sitting Rashad White. I'm assuming this is like a 2 running back, 2 flex type of deal. I'm going to sit Rashad White, and I'm going to play Puka and Tank Dell.
Big Trust, who are you playing at wide receiver that you have Puka that also? But then I guess it makes sense. Just because we forget, where he was drafted or not drafted.
Both of those receivers.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely not sitting Tank Dell. But I have Puka as a top 12 wide receiver this week too. So just so we're curious, Big Trust, who else are you starting at wide receiver? Just curious. SB, Kyler or CJ Stroud? This is Stroud.
Stroud.
Over on Facebook, Jeff Connor, Ford or Stevenson? This is gonna be Stevenson.
Stevenson by a smidge. Although I love Ford this week, but I think this is a week where we get a good Stevenson game.
Yeah. Noel, Kincaid or Ford? This is going to be Kincaid.
Okay. I'd probably go Kincaid in both.
I think in the half point PPR, I would lean more towards Ford.
Yeah, I get that. That's what I was kind of thinking, but I'm with you. Let's do that.
And
split the diff.
Okay.
Split the diff. Although I will say one thing is I would check back in on this. This is something I just wanted to look at because I couldn't remember the start times for these games. I would check back in closer to 4:00 to see if anything has changed in the weather for that Philly game. It does say that one did hit the yellow tag over on the Roto Grinder site. It says off and on showers all game. At times the rain could be fairly heavy. It seems like the winds won't be an issue, which is the biggest thing to pay attention to. But that's still something I'd want to check out since the Cleveland game is a 4:00 kickoff and then 4:25 for the Buffalo Philly game. So I would just want to check in on that just to either way. I would still stick with what we just talked about, but I'd still want to check that out, especially since you have the option to do so before kickoff.
Flowers or Kyron in PPR? Not good at fantasy.
Man,
I'm gonna go Kyron.
I lean Karen as well.
Woolen the
Tariq
GOAT.
Woolen. Let's go.
Good to have Tariq Woolen in the chat.
Yeah.
Start Schultz or McBride. This is gonna be McBride.
Yeah, I would go McBride too. Just I think you can count on his targets a little bit more, but that is close. I like that overall game environment better for Schultz, but like I said, I think McBride's targets are more bankable.
William. What's up, guys? Need some help, please. Full PPR. Need a wide receiver and a running back. Zay Flowers or Chris Olave and James Conner or Jalen Warren.
It's going to be Olave and Warren for me.
I agree. Terry, Taysom and Joku or Likely?
I'm going to go Likely. And Joku has seen a pretty incredible target share with quarterbacks not named Deshaun Watson under the helm, but it just feels like he doesn't have like that high of a ceiling. I feel like he has to find the end zone for him to like really pay off. I think I might be starting him in a DFS lineup just because he's relatively cheap, but just for regular redraft purposes here, I would lean Likely unless you just need to like swing for the fences. Then Taysom Hill is always in play. With Michael Thomas being out now, Jawan Johnson hasn't really been a thing. Maybe we see some more actual targets for Taysom Hill in the tight end spot, but I lean Likely.
I'm gonna go with Njoku here. He's been seeing an incredible target share. Saw 15 of them last week. I think it was 9 week before that. He's just been getting peppered with targets. Yeah, 15, 9, 6, 8, 9 since week 7. So like he's just been seeing a really, really steady target share within that offense. I get the call. Taysom Hill, haven't been able to get him right all year. When he's going to go off and when he's not. I still think he's a really good play this week, but I would rather play Njoku and then Likely again, kind of the same situation where he feels very boomer bust.
And just so we were split on this one. I saw you answer Tam in the Discord, which our guy Ashton posted the link if anyone wants to jump in. Discord is absolutely free, but we were split on this one. You said Ridley, I said Nico. So sorry, Tam, can't help you. I think they're both in really good spots. It just I just get worried a little bit with, like we've said a couple of times with Ridley now, just seems a little point chasey. And I think we see the Houston Texans take control of the AFC South in this game. I think they beat the Jags.
I could see that. Terry, RB2, Javonte, Madison, Sanders, or Chandler, full PPR. This is Javonte.
Yeah. Yep.
And then flex, full PPR, pick one. Devonta, Chase, Olave, or Madison. Oh, boy. This has got to be Devonta Smith.
Smitty. And just so we don't get too far away from it, Truz said that Amon-Ra and Keenan are the receivers. So that's why.
Yeah. Nino, which with Rashad popping up on the injury report on Friday, should I plug him back in or start Bijan or Warren? I'm still going to play Rachaad White.
I would play Bijan over Rachaad White. I'm just low on him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of trying to get ahead of it a little bit, but I just feel like that the run that he has been on is not sustainable. It doesn't really seem like the reason why he was on the injury report was for anything serious. They always expected him to play, just purely precautionary. But I would play Bijan over Rashad White.
It's just with Rashad White, like we don't have to question his workload. Like how many top, like he's been the guy. He's been handling. I mean, he's a true bell cow within this offense, where Bijan hasn't been. And who the fuck knows what to expect with Arthur Smith? And
Yeah,
so that's where
I
I
get
just
it.
lean towards more the guy that I know what to expect. Really like Jalen Warren too. Really wish you could get him in there. I would love to play Jalen Warren. I love the matchup for him. But between the guys you have here, I'm going to go with Rashad White. Daryl,
This is Tank
R-
Dell.
Stevenson or
Ramondre
Tank Dell? Agree. I'm going to go Tank Dell.
Dell.
Jimmy, half point PPR, start Jalen Warren or James Conner. This is going to be Jalen Warren for me.
Warren.
Connor, Cup, Kyron, Bijan, Ridley, pick 3. I'm going to go with the last 3. I'm probably going to be on an island, but
I'm gonna say Bijan.
I don't know. I need to see a big game from Cooper Cup before I just blindly keep throwing him out there and getting 5 or 6 PPR points a game from him. Big money. Warren, Ramondre, or Madison at RB2. This is going to be Warren for me.
I'm gonna go Ramondre over Warren.
It is really close between both of those guys. Those are the 2 guys that I like the most. I'm not playing Madison. With remaining running backs and Chase, Nico, or Addison at flex, one half or full point PPR. It's going to be Chase for me.
I would go Nico. So we are up there, big money. Good luck to you.
I think the way that I would describe it between those 2 options, I think with Chase, it's the fact that you know that he is the clear number 1 wide receiver. The opportunity for him. I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't see 10 targets in this game, like 10 plus targets. And I mean, it wouldn't be shocking if he saw 17, 18 targets. Like it feels like that type of game where that Browning just locks onto Jamar Chase and just feeds him a ton of targets. And so, but there's also the opposite that Browning is just terrible and just can't get anything going, and then offense looks terrible. And then Nico's obviously at a much higher, in a much better situation with CJ Stroud, who's been a baller. This very well could be a Nico Collins game where we've seen Nico Collins stealing 30 plus points. Or we really haven't seen that from Jamar Chase this year, but it's really not Jamar Chase's fault. But regardless of that, so I think those are the way to look at it. I actually think Chase is actually the safer option, but I think Nico has the higher ceiling. So I think that's the way that I would kind of describe that situation. Is candy corn considered a Halloween or a Thanksgiving candy?
It's considered a trash candy no matter what time of year.
It really is. I don't understand that people don't like it. Like
I
I don't
don't
think
get
there's
it.
any in between. I think people either love it or hate it, and I am on the hate side
Yeah, me
for
too.
sure.
My wife loves it, and she's gotten our son to enjoy it as well. And like they'll both just like scream at me to try one every single year until I do. It's never good. I have never once been like, oh, you know what, this year was like okay. It's just always bad. It is never good.
You probably have. Oh, you haven't had the right kind yet. That's probably what it is. You haven't. You need to find the right.
No one's made you the right candy corn yet.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I think it's Halloween candy. The way I would look at it. To answer the question, Dylan, what's up? A few starts, sits, all full PPR. Number 1, pick Hollywood, Downs, Hunt, James Cook. I'm gonna go Downs.
Downs.
And then number 2 is pick 1 wide receiver, DJ Moore or Ridley. I'm gonna go DJ Moore.
DJ.
And on number 3, 1 running back, Ford, Singletary, or James Conner. I'm gonna go Ford.
Ford.
Number 4, Odell, Amari Cooper, Ty Chandler, or Keaton Mitchell.
One of the Ravens. I'm going to go Odell.
Oh man.
I can't do Amari Cooper with DTR. Amari Cooper is like the opposite of David Njoku in terms of like their splits with and without Deshaun Watson. Like it's just not like that's why we kind of saw Elijah Moore be a little bit more of a thing because DTR is just throwing the ball. Everything is within like 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, just not throwing it downfield.
Yeah, all right. I'll go Odell. You twisted my arm. I don't really have a lean one way or the other, like where I feel like, about it. So AP, what's up, AP? Warren or Cup at the flex?
I'm assuming we're going to be split on this.
Yeah, you're gonna go Cup. I'm gonna go Warren. Dylan, Denver defense or Titans defense versus Carolina. I'm gonna go Denver.
Yeah.
Also, kicker question. Here we go. The old kicker rank pulled up. Dicker or Joseph? Let me see. I'm gonna go with Greg Joseph here in this spot over Dicker the kicker.
You did your rankings, so I am not going to chime in. We can move on.
Joe, you guys have already answered this the other day, but I need reassurance. I'm starting Dell, AJ Brown, DJ Moore with Downs, and Chase on bench. I want to see what Brownie can do.
Yeah, I mean, with those wide receivers, I'm fine with sitting Chase in that instance for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. I would tend to agree. I would stick with that because obviously Dell and AJ Brown are absolute locks. Question would become DJ Moore and Chase of where you'd want to go with that. I go DJ Moore.
Yeah.
SS PPR need to sit one. Rachaad White, Warren Pacheco, Nico Ridley. Thank you.
It's going to be Rachaad White for me.
Sadly, it's going to be Jaylen Warren for me.
And you call yourself a stan.
I am, but I can't. It's can't. Back pains. Morning. Ford, Javante, Connor, and Flex PPR.
And that I've never related to a handle more in my life. Literally slept on the couch wrong the other night, and my back has been fucked up since. This is gonna be Ford for me. I would go Ford over Javante by a smidge. Those two are close. Connor would be like a step down from those two.
Yeah, the only what worries you about James Conner is just the fact that Kyler just hasn't really been looking to target running backs. He never really has, and so Connor just doesn't. Without seeing any, especially in a full PPR, knowing that he's probably not going to see many targets, he may only see a couple. The matchup's not bad. It's close between all three of these guys. I think they're all low end RB2s this week. Just kind of looking at them and how you would look at them, and so, but I lean towards Javante. See. Sleepy, Godwin or Hollywood at flex. Also, Hollywood expected to play with his heel injury.
I would slightly lean Godwin. Like it makes me so sad to say that, but we talked about it earlier. I think this is a sneaky shootout. If anyone here is into wagering, if you have sports books available to you, I think that over is a nice bet. Was 43.5 the last time I looked. That is one of my favorite bets of the week. I would lean Godwin here and just because like the targets really haven't been an issue. He has seen, I think, at least 6 in all games but one. So like the targets are like okay. It's just that like Mike Evans is taking everything explosive, right? Like he's a downfield guy, he's the red zone guy. So kind of need Godwin to get there on some rack, and I feel like that could be the case here. especially going up against Indy on the other side. You're already talking about how they lost Anthony Richardson and they just kept going with the pace that they were at. So I'm gonna lean Godwin. I do think Hollywood's targets come around at some point with Kyler. I think it's been odd that they've been as low as they have um, over the past 2 games that he's been back, but I would still go Godwin.
Yeah, I go Hollywood. There's actually a wide receiver that I really like this week. It's Greg Dortch, uh, who, if you look at his opportunities last week, I know you don't have him, but I'm just throwing him out there like as if somebody were looking for kind of a play. Greg Dortch last week saw the highest target share on the team. He saw a 23% target share last week, tied in targets with Trey McBride. And I mean, it was 7 and 7 for McBride and Greg Dortch. Marquise Brown saw 4. And then you had Rondale Moore, who saw 2 targets. But Greg Dortch's target per route run rate was 24% last week. And so he accounted for 35% of the team's receiving yards. His yards per route run was by far the best on the team. He's the only guy that had over 2, and it's 2.62. So Greg Dortch, is a really good play. And we have to remember, last year, I know it seems like a weird play, but last year, I mean, he had multiple weeks last year where Greg Dortch with Kyler Murray was a very usable asset. And so with him back, with Michael Wilson out, if you had to ask me, would I play Godwin, Hollywood, or Dortch? I might lean towards Dortch, just because I think he sees probably another 6-7 targets in a game like this today from the slot. So, yeah, just throwing it out there. But in this scenario, I would go Godwin. Just wanted to mention that. My boys, full PPR, Trey McBride or Deontay's Trey McBride.
McBride. Good to see you in here, Cinco.
Yeah. Full point, King Henry or Nico. I'm going Derrick Henry.
I would go Nico in a full point.
You might be better off listening to Cody, but I just really I like this matchup. All of it
It's a great
aligns for
matchup.
Derrick Henry. Okay,
It does.
But he has also not been great. TJ, Kyron or Bijan full PPR.
Kyron for me.
Jacob need a flex PPR. D Hop, Deontay, or Khalil Herbert.
D Hop.
I'm gonna go Khalil Herbert. Oh, same question. We just keep spamming the same one.
This is gonna be mixing for me. Love seeing Cano in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go mix in here too. It is tough because it just feels like Gus just keeps falling into the end zone. He's very much the Jamal Williams this year, really. Just continually finding the end zone. So it's been
Matt Asiata, if you will.
Yeah. What's up, JR? Hope you are doing well. Justin, Cup or Thielen? Both are favorable matchups. Both are on the wrong side of 30. I agree. I'm gonna go with Thielen here.
Cup. One of us is going to be really right, and one of us is going to be really wrong.
Yeah, just Cup's either going to go out and just smash, and I'm just going to be like, oh well, yeah. Hopefully, you listen to Cody, or he's going to fail, and yeah. So
we'll never speak of it again.
Yeah. Jose, 12-team PPR, traded Mixon for Waddle at the deadline. Burrow's injury scares me for that offense. Still have ETN, Kamara, Kyron to trade. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially Mixon. Mixon hasn't really been great this year.
He's been better over the past couple of weeks. But like you said, his touchdown upside absolutely takes a hit now with Burrow out. So with still having ETN, Kamara, and Kyron left, I think that's fine. Full PPR to get Waddle, you're good.
Where was it? Oh, there we go. Same question as last week. Herbert or Stroud? This is going to be Stroud.
Stroud.
Also, Kyron Mixon, Warren, full PPR. It's gonna be
Says
Kyron.
aloha.
Sorry.
Kyron and Flowers.
And I hope you're enjoying the weather because where I'm at right now, it's like 30 degrees and there's like 5 inches of snow on the ground. So,
Temps are up in here, but thankfully, no snow. I think we're around like 45 right now. Oh, 50. Still, still chilly. But yeah, Kyron Flowers.
I would go Kyron and Nico. Morning, Ronnie. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Sit 1, flex 1. Madison, Mixon, Javonte, Gus, Kirk, Kincaid. So I'm going to go Javonte and Kincaid.
The sit one, RD, can you separate these out? I'm confused on the sit 1, flex 1. Like just sit, like I'm assuming sitting
Oh,
one
we're
of the
only
running
sitting
backs.
one. Oh, yeah. I missed
So
that.
if we're sitting a running back, I'm going to sit Madison.
Yes.
And then I would flex Kincaid.
Yeah.
If we got that right, RD. If not, reword your question just so we make sure.
Bulldog, Kyron or McBride in the flex. Half point PPR.
Man.
I'm going to go Kyron here.
I'll go McBride.
Just taking a half point PPR, it changes a little bit. But yeah. Daniel, full PPR, pick 1. Tyjae Spears, Tyler Algier, or Tyler Chandler. I'm going to go Ty Chandler.
Sure.
Max, please help me. Start 2. Olave, Collins, or DJ Moore. Thanks. Greetings from Germany. Hope all is well over in Germany.
Thanks for joining us, Max.
I'm going to sit Chris Olave.
I'm good with that.
Tingley, PPR start 2, Puka or Devonta Smith, or start 2.
Wait.
PPR
Getting ahead of
Smith. Just added that in there. Yeah, sorry. I don't know where that came from. I'm going to go Devonta Smith. And then I'm going to flex Pacheco.
Yeah.
Tyler, Sutton, Pacheco, Singletary. Sutton, that one's pick 2, PPR. I'm going to go Pacheco. Wait, we got Sutton there twice. Pacheco and Sutton.
It's going to be Pacheco and Sutton, but Tyler, let us know if that last Sutton was supposed to be somebody different. I'm going to go Dortch over Pop Doug here.
Oh, we did get a Dortch question. Let's go.
Who are you going with here? You said you like Douglas. You
I like
said you
both.
Dortch.
I'll lay out the case for both of them. I put my money where my mouth is. I am playing Greg Dortch. But then it's a little bit different of a situation. I'm gonna go Dortch. Let's go Dortch. Fire up Greg Dortch. Once again, becoming fantasy relevant again. Oh, whoop. SS need to sit 1. Warren, Pacheco, White. Did we already have this one?
I think so. And I think you said Warren and I said White.
Yeah. This is Puka. I just had to put this out there. Candy corn is nasty. Absolutely, it is. So is anything black licorice. Absolutely. Both fair takes there, JR.
Have you ever had black Sambuca?
Sounds gross too. Yeah.
It's like a liquor that tastes like black licorice, but
black licorice is disgusting.
It's good.
You like black licorice?
If it gets me fucked up.
Oh, well. You big Jägermeister guy too, just drinking that shit straight? Yeah.
Yep. They used to be the go-to.
Shelton, Kyler Murray or Josh Allen? This is Josh Allen.
Allen and Kincaid.
I agree. Should you start Kyron Williams or White today? I'm gonna go Rashad White.
We're gonna be split here, Miguel. Not gonna be much help. I'm gonna go Kyron Williams.
If you want to, I mean, again, it's very, very extremely close between the two of them. They're like right there, neck and neck for me. Um, so I get it. I'm just not that. I'm not concerned with Rashad White popping up on the injury report. But they both should have a very similar workload. I think you probably make the case the matchup is probably slightly better for Kyron Williams against Arizona. So if you want to go Kyron, totally makes sense. I think they're both really good plays. Jamar Chase or Kyron Williams, full PPR. I'm going to go Jamar Chase.
I'm going Kyron.
And with the Hemi Butler Avi there, love that. I would try to pronounce that, but I would totally ruin that. So we'll just say KG. How about that? But with the Hemi Butler Avi, love that. At least it's not the emo Jimmy Butler one that he decided to do this year. Czar. Need 2 for 12 man PPR. Chase, Kirk, Olave, seeing everyone has them ranked similarly.
I would go Chase and Olave here.
We finally went with a Chase.
Yep. You finally got me.
He's on the case. You like that? Yeah, I agree. I'm sitting Kirk. Our ma'am Tam. Lamar or Murray? I'm gonna go Lamar.
Lamar.
Over back on the Twitch, Matt, Drake London, Demario Douglas, or Khalil Shakir. I'm going to go London.
London for me as well.
Sorry, I asked Flowers or Kyron. You lean Kyron, but does that change if my opponent has Lamar? Like it's sorry to say, be more beneficial in hopes of neutralizing Lamar's. No, because also you have to remember how Lamar works, right? Like Lamar is very much a being able to run the ball and everything else. So no, it doesn't really change a lot. And I'm not worried about that.
No, I typically don't set my lineups based on anything like that.
And I would also just say, because I know in the next one you said because if Lamar goes off, there's a decent chance Dave does. I do not think that. Because Lamar could go out and rush for 120 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns and smash without really bringing any wide receiver along with them.
It could be a Keaton Mitchell 40-yard screen touchdown. It could be a Rashad Bateman shot. Odell, like we've seen some, like Nelson Aguilar has been, involved some as well. So, but it does look like Tyler meant someone else. So it's Sutton, Pacheco, Singletary, Ford. So in that case, I'm going Pacheco and Ford. I would go Ford over Sutton.
Oh yeah, that changes quite a bit. Yeah. It's 72 in Arizona. Well, fuck you, Brandon. No. I would love that. Like I don't mind like cold weather, but like when it starts to get like 10 degrees outside and just freezing your ass off like that, I have no desire for that. And then I lived in Florida for 3 years when I was in the Navy, and that was good. But this like bitter cold is not for me anymore. Yeah. Alex over on Twitch, who to start? Javonte, Singletary, or Sutton? It's gonna be Javonte.
Yep.
Any of y'all in the chat wrestling fans? CM Punk, I saw on Twitter, came back last night. Saw that. Dismon, Mixon or Javonte? This is Javonte. I think you're gonna go Mixon. We've had this question a lot.
Yeah, Mixon by a smidge, but I think both are fine plays.
TX, Pickens or Javonte?
Javonte.
I think it's Javonte, but man, I don't know. I kind of like Pickens, but I just think he makes a little more sense. Also, Gabe Davis or Nico.
It's gonna be Nico. Yeah, it's gonna be Nico for me, but I can see if you want to take a swing. Although, like Nico does have like the same ceiling that Gabe Davis has, right? So I'm just gonna go Nico.
Yeah, Mixon. This is like the breaking point this week. Everybody has this question. Everybody seems like everybody has these two guys. But yes, we're gonna be split. I'm gonna be Javante. He's gonna be Mixon. Also, Gabe.
And then,
Oh wait,
oh
maybe
wait, I think that might have been Disman switching
yeah,
from Twitch over to.
yeah. And again, I'm telling you, one day we're gonna put a disclaimer up at some point, maybe that we will definitely get your questions. It doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or YouTube. We just go right in
Yeah.
order. Unless you leave a super chat, then that gets bumped up. But that's it. Harold, Denver, Baltimore, or Saints D? I'm gonna go Denver here.
Denver.
And then Andrea, Warren or Stevenson.
This is Stevenson for me, but I do like Warren.
AP, Lutz or McManus.
Oh, you, Kev.
This is Brandon McManus. I have him at 6 this week for contacts, and then Will Lutz. Where do we got? Oh, Will Lutz.
Old Willie Lutz.
I got Lutz at 17. So Vic, Ty Chandler or Keaton Mitchell, half point PPR. I'm gonna go Ty Chandler.
I would just take the swing here with Keaton Mitchell and just hope he pops one off, which is well within the range of possibilities. Not a great matchup. Also, Bosa is out, so like that would seem to help soften up the edges where Keaton Mitchell is going to be most dangerous anyway. So I would lean Mitchell here.
Firefighter over on Twitch. Mixon, Kamara, or Kyron Williams. Already have Keenan Allen at flex, and this specified needs to start 2. So it's going to be Kamara and Kyron for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Vic, Rashee Rice or Gabe Davis? This is Rashee Rice. Hopefully, this is the Rashee Rice breakout game. I mean, just put it out there into the ether. Gabe Davis, extremely boomer bust, but when he gets there in a big way. But when he doesn't, he is completely the opposite. So that's for me. Rashee Rice, I already know it has a safe floor, but then when you factor in the rest of it, I just think Rashee Rice is just in a really good spot, and I think he could actually hit ceiling today with multiple wide receivers out for the Chiefs in a really good matchup.
Yeah, Vic, this one to me completely agree with everything Kev says. So this just comes down to like kind of like what you need in your lineup. Like if you just need, a safe 9 to 13 points with a little bit of an upside for higher, you go Rice. But if you need to swing for the fences, I would go Gabe Davis. And the swing sets up nicely here in this matchup against Philly as well.
Yeah, Philly's been terrible against the pass. Andrea, thanks again. Have you a good day. Great show. Appreciate you, Andrea.
Good luck.
Angelo, full PPR, Demario Douglas or Addison. This is going to be Addison for me.
Addison.
Herbert or Murray at quarterback?
Murray.
I am in the same boat as you, not good at fantasy. I am going Kyler Murray, though I am nervous just because Khalil Herbert has been really solid this year. They're at home, and we've actually seen Justin Herbert running a little bit more. But not just that. Also, this game feels like it has some like shootout potential where it could be a higher scoring game than expected. Where I kind of enjoy that. Where I mean, and also the Arizona Rams games, divisional, those games kind of tend to get a little bit weird too. So, but I still just lean towards Kyler Murray. Hey Landry. Hey guys, Devonta Smith or Josh Downs. This is Devonta Smith.
Smitty.
Thank you for your time. No, thank you, Angelo, for coming in and asking and hanging out with us. We appreciate everybody and all of their questions. Could not do any of this without you. There was definitely a time, and what feels like not that long ago, that it was like nobody in here. So we would just be talking into the ether, a few years ago, whatever, maybe a little bit longer than that. But yeah, so we appreciate all of the questions for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then it looks like lastly, Samuel, would you guys play Kyron or Puka in the flex? Half point PPR. I'm going to go Puka here, but it is close. I think both of them are really solid.
Oh, I'm gonna go. Golly, I think if you need more of a ceiling, I would go Puka because I'm not sure that like we have to also remember that we saw Kyron's targets take a hit not once Puka and Cup were back in the fold. So if you need a little bit more of a ceiling, I would go Puka. If you kind of just need the points to get you by, I would go Kyron. I think Kyron's safer, but Puka has the higher floor and higher ceiling.
Yeah. And love that last name. Immediately made me think of Mike Piazza.
That's literally what I thought of too.
Any relation? Anyways, Joe, thank you guys. No, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. So I think this will do it. This last question, so we can get out of here. Got some things to tie up, some loose ends, and never fails. Hey guys, wanted to ask which tight end I would start. Taysom Hill or Evan Ingram. I'm gonna go Evan Ingram.
Ingram, unless I do think this sets up as an Ingram game. But if like we always say, if you're starting Taysom Hill, it's because you just need to swing for the fences, right? Evan Ingram certainly more safer. Taysom Hill, 30-point upside. I don't think Evan Ingram has that, but that's how I would decide that.
Yeah. So that being said, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Hope everybody has a good week. Let's get that W this week. We're only a couple more weeks away from the fantasy playoffs, so whether you're locked in or not, we will be back again tonight for the Week 13 waiver wire ads. And I did make a quick list of just some players that I'm already looking at for this week. But just if you wanted to stash anybody, Khalil Shakur, A.T. Perry, Greg Dortch, and a very, very deep one. If you are in a very deep league, it would be Richie James for the Chiefs, who with multiple wide receivers out for them right now. So, I have 2 Rashad Penny jerseys. I want to see pictures of you wearing them, not just Googling pictures of them with them. Okay, something
Yeah, you
that
gotta
shows.
drop it in the Discord.
Yeah, drop it in the
Let's see
Discord.
it.
And
Picks or it didn't happen.
yeah, I don't believe you. So we'll see though. Anyways, keep it
Puka.
locked in here. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tonight for the rest of it. Yeah, Puka. Yep. Anyways, get out of here. Lock those your lineups in. Have a good rest of have a good rest of the day. Enjoy some football today. We'll see you tonight for the waivers. Hopefully, we stay relatively injury free. Bye bye.